Okay. Hey, what's up? It's Steph back on Steph's Rock Show, and we've got Jordan of Red Crown. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I gotta ask first, how did you met Michael Starr and he's following you, and that's how you came up as a suggested friend because we had Michael Starr in comment. How did that happen?
So I went on a cruise last year called Shiprocked. It's a rock and metal cruise that a lot of artists go on, and they had Michael Starr as a stowaway. And I did a drumming competition on the cruise, fastest feet, and it was basically whoever could hit the most drum beats in a minute with their feet on just a bass drum, nothing else. And I ended up winning, and the winning poster, he was the first signature that I got on it. And now I tried to get so many artists on Shiprock to sign that thing. And it's a pretty full poster now, but he was the first one. He was an amazing guy.
That's really cool. He's a sweetheart. And man, I haven't done one of those shipwrecked cruises yet. I really want to do one. They look so fun.
It's really amazing. I would recommend it to pretty much anybody. At least a one-time experience to try. It's just great people, great bands, great event.
Yeah, yeah. And then I like your purple hair. I see your hair colors changing. I'm always changing mine up. Have you always dyed your hair different colors?
I think since 14, I don't think I've had my natural hair color. I've been like blue, black, purple, green, and then whatever colors it fades to throughout time. But
yeah. No, I feel you. You got to switch it up. And then, okay, you said you got Michael Starr's autograph on the poster. I also noticed on your Instagram, you got some band's autographs tattooed on you. That's dedication.
Yeah. So,
what is this about?
So I have a little signature sleeve going. These are a lot of members of Ice Nine Kills. I have some Electric Callboy signatures, Dark Divine. I have Jared Dines back here of Oni. This is the lead singer of Ailstorm. I have a list of like my top 10 favorite bands of all time. And if they fit in that category, I'm like, you're good enough to go on my signature sleeve. So.
I love that you have a signature sleeve. I think that may be a little mentally unstable, but I would do that too. So,
hey, look at me. I mean, I can't be the most mentally stable person.
Me too. I think I would get Weird Al Yankovic's signature tattooed on me. That's like the only one.
I would love to meet him one day because he seems like just an awesome person to sit down and talk with.
Yeah, and he's hot. I want to date him so hard. Like I'm still fingers crossed that his wifey goes out. Okay, and then I thought so. Not only do you drum, you play piano.
I do. I do a little bit of piano work, a little bit of vocal work. It all started back when I was a kid. I thought Jimmy the Rev Sullivan of Avenged Sevenfold was the coolest dude I'd ever seen in my life as a childhood idol. And I was like, well, he's cool. I got to play the drums. So I started playing the drums, and then a few more years down the road, I'm like, oh, he plays piano too, so I have to do that. It all just kind of rolled on, and I stuck with it all, and now we're here.
So drums are primarily your favorite, or would you ever be in a band and play keyboards?
I feel like drums are like my true passion. With piano, I find a lot of things that I'm passionate about with the piano, but I feel like it would be hard for me to perform how I want to perform behind a keyboard, if that makes sense.
You like to go crazy and get all over the place?
Exactly.
Have you seen the video of the Mad Drummer?
Yeah. Do you mean the guy that they wear like gold suits and stuff, and he does all that crazy? I try to do some stick tricks when I'm playing, but even if I was playing the most simple beat, I couldn't do half of what that dude does.
Yeah, I had him by our radio station like 15 years ago, and he was really nice and funny, and like he's such a big deal. Okay, so what's a band you haven't seen yet that you really want to see?
Oof, a band that I haven't seen. Oh God. So I also really like electronic music. There's
you like drugs. That means you like drugs.
Believe it or not, I am completely sober. I don't drink. Wow. I don't smoke. I've never been high. I've never been drunk. I just look
no way. You're high on life.
I'm high on life. I don't even drink
Okay.
coffee. Like
Because
I just
no way, most people that like electronic music or try to get me to go to these festivals, I go and they're all dropping acid or shrooms, or Molly. And
I like the more melodic side of electronic music. And there's this artist named Temanite. He's by far my favorite electronic artist out there, and I would love to go see him at some point. There's a lot of bands that I wish I saw like back in the day. Like I'd kill to go back to the 80s and see Queen in their prime, or Zeppelin, or Ozzy, or any of the bands that I was raised on.
yeah, I got to see Ozzy in 2004 and he still kind of had it together, but I think shortly after that in 2009, it was a lot of gibberish. It wasn't making sense. It was giving me Manson vibes, but it's still
Yeah.
fun to be in the crowd and see him. So
And
tell us about Red Crown and how your band like met and started and what your sound is.
so funny story about Red Crown. So after I know I've always wanted to do music, like for a living if I could. And after the Shiprocked experience, I'm like, I need to get on this. Like, this isn't just going to happen. I need to put myself out there and make it happen. So I started posting on Instagram every day. I started posting on my TikTok and just making some sort of content, trying to every day. And I followed Red Crown because I'd go on Instagram and just, follow every band that I could. And they ended
You
up
were a groupie first.
yeah, pretty much. They ended up
Okay.
sending me something that they send all their followers, like, "Hey, how'd you hear about us? What do you like?" The basic kind of stuff. And I was like, "You guys sound awesome. Listen to you on Spotify. Let me know if you ever need like a fill-in drummer, or if you're going on tour and need a backup or a drum tech or whatever." And yeah, apparently they were looking to fill a new drummer spot. So we just started talking like that back and forth. And crazy enough, we ended up living about an hour from each other.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and I met the guys. We all fit in really well. I'm definitely the baby of the band, but
Okay.
um,
You sent a bikini pic over and they were like, "Yeah, get in the van. We're ready."
exactly,
Where you're
exactly.
on the East Coast, in New Hampshire, I saw you posted you were gonna play there. Are you around there or where are you at?
Yep. So I'm in New Hampshire in a small little town called Rochester. Um,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the band is based out of Derry, New Hampshire. So we play a lot of shows in southern New Hampshire to northern Massachusetts area. There's not a massive metal scene around here because it's basically the woods, and we're trying to get out there, do more. We'd love to go on tour if anybody's out there listening and wants to take a metal band on tour, we'd love to go.
That's
Um,
legit. What about Stephen King's It? Wasn't that in Derry? Placed in Derry?
so that was based out of Derry, Maine. So Derry is
Oh.
technically a fictional place, but I where I'm sitting, I could probably throw a rock into Maine. So
Okay, yeah, that's right. You guys are so close together. Us in California, I'm a 6-hour drive to LA from Sacramento. I mean,
yeah,
we're such a big
so
state.
I'm about an hour and hour and a half out of Boston, if that.
Okay, I love Boston. I've spent, yeah, a couple weeks in Boston. My best friend got married there, so I had to do the bachelorette party and stuff. And the East Coast has so much charm. It's so beautiful and the bricks
It
and it's
is.
old and we're like new and boring and we just
Yeah,
have beaches.
I've been all across the U.S. and I think New England is one of the prettiest places that there is, especially in the fall. I absolutely love the fall. It's the best place to be if you're into spooky stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love like Salem trip. Okay, can we do fun questions?
Yeah, I'm ask me anything. I'm here.
Okay, cool. You don't hold back. Okay, pizza or tacos?
Absolutely pizza. I'd eat
Okay.
pizza every day if I could.
I'm not gonna lie, I asked that because I had pizza for dinner last night, but then I had tacos for breakfast, so I like both. Alice in Chains or Pearl Jam?
I'm gonna have to go Alice in Chains on that one.
Okay, I vibes. 80s or 90s?
Well, I was technically born at the end of the late '90s, so I didn't really
Damn it.
experience
All the
much
guys
of
that
the.
I think are hot are like 12. Like it's a like Chris Hansen's gonna open the door and be like, "Have a seat over there," because you guys. I want to say I want to start a show called "I Fuck the '90s" because I just want to fuck either rock stars that were big in the '90s or men born in the '90s. Those are the two categories.
So I was born at the tail end of the 90s. I was born in
Okay.
98.
Jesus.
I didn't really experience the 80s or the 90s, but if
Okay.
I were to go back to any time period and like be a teenager and experience a time, it would absolutely be the 80s. I love video games, arcades were coming up. A lot of classic rock bands that I absolutely love were huge in the 80s. So,
What about classic radio DJs born in the early '80s? That's no. Okay. What about your best night out? Do you have like a best night out story? Even though you don't drink.
I don't drink, but I do go out and I hang out with friends. I used to work as a bouncer in a couple of clubs around here.
That's a hot way to meet chicks.
Oh
Chicks
yeah,
love bouncers. Yeah, the doorman. You got to flirt with the doorman to get through. Did you have
yeah.
like a fun night, like your favorite night?
So honestly, I just love getting together with friends. I love making music, going to concerts. Um, just I like being in a group of friends, all doing something that we love. And I don't care if everybody else is drinking or drunk. I'm there for the vibes.
You're
I
like
don't
the sober driver, sober Sally over there.
exactly. See,
Okay,
the tour bus always has a driver.
that's cool. That's legit, dude. Okay, your favorite drummer?
That would absolutely be Jimmy the Rev Sullivan of Avenged Sevenfold. I've worshipped him since I was like 6 years old. A close second would probably be like a modern drummer right now. Luke Holland is absolutely amazing. He's with Falling in Reverse right now, but I've been
Yeah,
following him for a long time.
Fallen in Reverse, getting a lot of heat, and Black Veil Brides for going back out, and I don't know, it's crazy. It's
They're very you love them or you hate them. Personally, I've been a longtime fan of Falling in Reverse and Black Veil Brides when I got bullied in high school for listening to both of them. So
yeah, no, I love both of them, so I don't understand why it's crazy. But your favorite divorced dad rock band?
oh, Creed, absolutely
Yeah,
Creed.
yeah, they're playing Sunday night here.
Fun fact: Creed
Yeah.
was my first ever concert.
Oh my gosh, that's
Well,
cool. You were a young divorced dad. You were
I
ready.
was, yes,
Yeah, no, and I love that it's making a comeback. It's all not being made fun of. It's actually celebrated as like the cool music right now. It's like new
exactly,
metal and divorced dad rock. That's
exactly. We need like a reunion tour. We got to get some divorced dad rock and some new metal and just go on tour with each other.
I'm so down. Okay, and then your favorite dish to cook, or do you cook?
I'm far from the greatest cook in the world. I feel like uh, I do cook a mean Alfredo.
Okay.
I make some good ramen. Oh God,
Good
that's
ramen, like you mean cup of noodles, like the when you put it in the
yeah, but
microwave
you
for a
gotta
minute?
you gotta add stuff to it, you
Do you add
know?
like a hard boiled egg or like what's
Yeah,
the
you
okay,
throw some cheese in there, some extra little seasons and spices.
that's fancy. So fancy cup of noodles.
I ain't making my own noodles or anything, all right? It still comes in the
Yeah.
package, but I add my own
Yeah.
flair.
Yeah. I got same vibes. Same vibes. I'm not judging. So cool. How do we find Jordan, your band or new projects or anything you want to say about Red Crown and what's coming up?
So, we're gonna basically release this today. We have a new show coming up on November 2nd at a venue here called Wally's at Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. We're gonna be playing there for like a Halloween show. It's the weekend right after Halloween. We are gonna be hitting the studio soon, releasing some new music for you guys. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming sites. We're on YouTube. We're getting a TikTok going. We're on Instagram. Facebook. You can find us anywhere at Red Crown. Our Spotify recently just hit 13,500 monthly listeners, which is like a big deal
Congrats.
for
That's
a
huge.
small time band. But
Yeah, that's really cool. I love the sound. I think it's great. Thank you so much, Jordan, for taking time and stopping by Steph's Rock Show.
of course, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Sweet.